Hello, and welcome to the Splain. Dan Rothenberg and Joe Klosik, two guys trying to figure it out. Not the right wing, not the brosphere. Left of center, with humor and empathy.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So do you want to give context of
right. This is a now I don't know when this is going to air, but this is an emergency splain. I just needed to splain. I guess this is becoming my therapy. This is
the therapist needs therapy.
Yeah. As we do, and I guess I feel like when I get stuck, I can toss a little humor around and kind of undo some of that, some of the frustration, some of the anger, having to do with the combination of what's going on in the world and what's going on in technology for a person my age, and trying to be a good parent. It could be a tough combination. Now,
holy moly!
On that note, so before I launch into my woes. Before I launch in to, sorry. My middle-aged white problems. Before I get into that.
First of all,
yeah.
Middle-aged?
No. I'm being too optimistic there.
I think we got to be honest with ourselves, Dan.
52? What am I?
You're in your 50s. That's not middle age.
Well, what is that? Old?
I didn't say that word. We don't use the O word in here.
That's right. We don't use the O word.
I'm just saying we're not middle aged.
All right.
And,
so here's
Anyway,
the point is, but to bury I don't want to bury the lead. The theme of this episode is it's important. We must look out for our own mental health in order to navigate this, especially if you have kids or you have people depending on you. If you're dying alone, do your thing. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
So this episode is specifically not for the shut-ins dying alone.
Shut-ins, wackos, cat people. Let me take that.
You just lost my girlfriend. You just lost my girlfriend.
I didn't mean.
She's our biggest supporter, Dan.
I didn't mean any of that. Not in that sexist way. If you're doing your thing, I'm talking about people who are parents affecting people who basically
let's hear it. Let's just as Tony Soprano would say, cut the preamble.
Cut the preamble.
Let's hear it.
What's on your mind? Okay, I can't do it anymore. All right. I used to do you listen to me.
Oh Lord.
All right. So, I notice in myself, and I'd like to get your input on this, once or twice a year, it's not that often, I dip into a little depression. A little one. I'm talking about 1 or 2 days where it's different than just stress and frustration, the daily thing. It's a little bit of a numbness and a hopelessness and kind of a and I can feel myself, and it's very much not me. I am a stressed out person. I'm not traditionally a depressed person, but I really it's a visceral feeling. Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I went off antidepressants. I had been on an antidepressant for years, for about 6 years, and I recently went off, and every time I feel, a little like, oh man, what are we doing this for? I worry that hey, maybe I've removed that floor, but so far I've not experienced that. But yeah, I mean, I do hear what you're saying about, yeah, it's concerning, and you wonder, what is there more to this, right? Or am I just reading my fears of depression into your? Did something spark this? Did something?
Yeah. So here's what sparked it, and it's and I feel like I know why. And again, we've talked about these situations where technology paralyzes you. And it seems to be coming up more and more for me. And I can't figure out if it's just me and I'm in a weird space and the world is moving the way it goes, or if something's going on in AI to the point where we're getting excluded, or there's a lack of humanity in it all. I'll get to the point. So this is what happened yesterday. My son is enrolled in driver's education. And in order to make this happen, I mean, it is such an ordeal. And
you have to enroll online.
You have to enroll online. This is what happens. And again, I have a huge problem, Joe, signing up for things. It doesn't work out for me. I'm serious.
I believe you. Yeah.
I was a year ago. I signed up for a run with my running friends, right? So the leader of our little team shows up with a stack of T-shirts, right? And I say and these guys don't know me like you know me. You know what I mean? Now, if you're sitting there with me, you look at that stack of T-shirts, you're like, Dan's ain't in there, right? It's not even a question.
He didn't click the button.
Whatever. It ain't going to work out. And my wife gets pissed at me for talking about myself like this, because it is kind of getting down on myself, but it's true. So I'm sitting there with my friend, and I just casually go, my shirt's not in there. He says, why? I said, because stuff like this doesn't work out for me. Watch. John, Eli, nothing. I'm not even phased. I'm like, wow. He's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, that shirt, a pile of shirts doesn't involve me. It ain't going to happen. So we investigated, right? I somehow signed up and then canceled 30 seconds later. So then we go to this the next run. I swear I am not shitting you. 2 T-shirts. I signed up twice. Better than 0. Twice.
Well, you wanted to make sure you got it right this time.
I didn't mean it. Twice. Okay.
Oh,
so now I signed my son up for driver's ed, and it's like technology is supposed to make things more convenient, but to get through this, you need to be a project manager. As a parent, you have to be organized and in charge.
Can you walk me through what what was the process to actually do it?
I signed him up.
Did he get a shirt?
This is what happens. This is where it falls apart for me. You sign up for something, then you get an email. Mm-hmm. You need to confirm you signed up. And then it all falls to shit. Always falls to shit because it goes into spam or it goes into... Have you noticed, is it me? Gmail is built to make us dependent on it because it's such a mound of shit, isn't it? It's such a black hole of emails that you can't get rid of, and finally you accept. They're making us hoarders. They're making us have to live with this chaos. The email comes, I miss it, or I delete it, and then it's a problem. And then I'm just digging myself out of it. So,
I hear you. So did your son actually get to the driving test, or was it canceled?
Last night we got into the orientation, All right.
Oh, okay,
Now,
okay.
we're taking roll, and the parents are supposed to be there for some reason. So everybody's taking roll.
Oh, no.
Johnny, Susie, Bob. Then it gets Charlie Rothenberg, Daniel Rothenberg. Somehow
So you're taking driver's ed too.
I'm taking driver's ed.
Well, it's about time.
Also, which that's true, but we don't got to get into that. Of course, I'm the only one that the parent is listed as an applicant. Charlie's, looking at me.
Why are you embarrassing me, Dad?
So then I get a text yesterday. Charlie missed the first lesson today. What happened? So I text him back. I talked to him today. His Canvas account wasn't unlocked because he didn't do the thing with the extra email with the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The extra. And by the way, they said, okay, we have this happens to me regularly. We have 3 accounts in your name. Does that ever happen to you? We got 4 accounts.
Only on purpose.
We got Charlie.
Yeah.
We got Charlie's got one. You got one. Joe Klosik. Do you know him? He's got one. Whatever.
Wow. I'm okay.
And so I called you for this emergency Splain session, and I noticed when I got this text saying, "Hey, Charlie missed it," I was just the depression just kind of shot me. And again, it comes down to this fundamental hopelessness that and I think what's happening is, and I haven't even gotten into the fascism that's going on. You know what I mean? Because you don't have
stick
time.
With email.
You don't have time for fascism.
Yeah.
And so what?
Well, they sent you a Gmail asking you to be against it, and it'd be all done now, but you didn't respond.
I know. Exactly.
I'm sorry, buddy.
My bad,
it's kind of on you.
I didn't verify. No fascism.
You were one email vote away.
What's going on? And I have to say, I don't want to get all into just this, but ever since troops have gone into L.A., the air smells different. Everything.
Yeah.
So what happens is your threshold rises to here already of hopelessness. It's kind of.
It's in the air. It's everywhere. You're right.
And it just kind of. And when I get these depression things, I pull out of it because I'm aware of what it is, and I can pull out of it. I never miss work. But it occurred to me how important it is for all of us you have to address, if we have to take care of ourselves, because at the end of the day, when I get hit with hopelessness, I get short and humorless with my wife first and with my kids second. And that's what I really regret. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the stuff that sticks. And and how do we so
can I be a therapist for a second?
Please, yeah.
Or can I play one?
Play therapist, yeah.
So okay. Sincerely, thanks for calling me up, buddy. I'm honored, right, that you called up and said, "Hey, let's try to monetize this."
Yeah, let's try.
Let's try to market this moment.
Yeah.
But thanks for reaching out to me, and I validate everything that you're saying, and I think there's 2 big things that are happening. The general zeitgeist is negative right now. And everything else that's going on in our private lives against that, it just makes everything worse. And the hopelessness, it's a real thing. You're not alone in feeling that. And here's what I would say back to you. I would say, what would you say to a patient right now who's coming to you and just saying like, man, I get a sense of hopelessness around technology? What would you say back to
Yeah, try to guide him toward his strengths and values and the things we can access that do bring joy and purpose. Purpose, I think, purpose and agency are very important. I think just across the board for like a sense of wholeness, a sense of freedom, and some depending on. And what I notice in a lot of guys I work with, without getting specific, the guys I work with that fight depression are often sort of doing the same thing over again. It's a cliche, doing the same thing over, trying to get different results, working very, very, very hard at something that's not paying off because what they're doing doesn't pay off. And the takeaway is we have to watch out for setting ourselves up for hopelessness, for kind of trying to control and trying to manage things in a way where you're not getting the result you want. You're acting in a way that is causing your spouse to not give you what you want. Do you know what I mean? And so much of this stuff comes from childhood trauma and patterns with your parents. And, you know, a lot of times in this podcast, we're kind of gearing this towards men. What is it to be a man? Are you and I men right now? We're talking about our feelings.
Talking about our feelings. We're not men.
I don't know.
We're not men.
I do not know. But I will say, in this brosphere we're living in, about being unapologetic and digging in your heels and always being right and grabbing what you want, what about being a dick to your loved ones?
Yeah.
It's important. And it happens. That's why you got to find ways. There are cool ways to manage your mental health.
Yeah. Can I, just to interject?
Yeah.
Can I bring you back to the technological part of it? Like, when you get an email saying something like, you have to sign up and follow this process, wait for this email, or you get a text and you know, like, okay, I'm going to have to use the computer. Do you already start to feel like, I'm going to fail at this?
Yes.
This isn't going to work. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you think about it. Driver's ed. How did I take driver's ed?
I mean, it was probably a clipboard, and you put your It's
a no-brainer. Yeah. You signed up, and then they said, "Bring your ass here." On these days, and there was really no way to screw that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was something.
Yeah.
So easy about that. That's what. So the tough thing. The tough thing about driver's ed is not the driver's ed. It's the managing a platform. And my cousin, I was complaining to my cousin today. Bess, you know Bess. So I've been complaining all over the place, and she made a good point. She said, "Yeah, we have had to re-adult. Gen Xers have really had to re-adult. It's a new type of resiliency we need to." But that's the thing. I mean, I can handle show up on this Zoom once a week, whatever. But signing up, then the email confirmation, then it's
scary to admit how intimidating it is, and just the process that we've had dealing with technology to get this podcast up, and how long it's taken. And I feel you on that, man. I mean, there's been times I wanted to throw my laptop at the wall because I'm like, I'm hitting what you're saying and it's not giving me that response. And then I'll get on the customer service chat, which is AI. It's not even a human, which is annoying, right? But eventually I will find, like, oh, there's one little thing I forgot to do, or there's one thing I'm not seeing. And we didn't grow up with it. It's easy to get overwhelmed. I start to doubt my intelligence, and I do feel hopeless about it.
Stupid.
But you know what? I am also thinking, and tell me if this resonates with you. So just yesterday, I work with addicts in recovery, getting them ready to re-enter the job force, and we talk a lot about the tools that are going to need to be successful, and we talk a lot about resiliency tools, and we were looking at mind traps, these things that we can fall into, and one of the ones is catastrophizing.
Sure.
Right, where one thing doesn't work out and suddenly we just pull everything, like, I can't get my email to work, fuck, I'm a loser, I'm gonna die alone. Right, it just goes from one simple thing, to that simple, and getting them to realize, like, hey, wait, there's a whole lot of more steps between figuring out email and dying alone.
I know. It doesn't feel that way, though.
It doesn't feel that way. In the moment, we catastrophize. And, I mean, and then it's like, all right, coming up with solutions. Like, is your wife better with technology? Is Charlie, like, would it give him agency? Like, look, you sign up for driver's ed. You do it. Or sit with me and, like, are there other strategies where if you know you're going to encounter this technological barrier, who can you reach out to who won't judge you and will help you?
Charlie is getting better at... Unfortunately, it's funny. These things, they're oddly...
genetic?
Yeah, they're guided toward parents. It's parents doing it, and I don't know if that's right or wrong. If I could have, maybe I spoil him a little. Colleen, yes, but she's got her own.
Yeah,
it's that division of labor. It's just, it feels. I feel it feels fundamentally stupid.
Yeah,
and you just want to go
right there. Yeah,
like
a shitty feeling.
Yeah, has this ever happened to you? You're talking to a tech person, and they're trying to help you, and it's more confusing because you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, the language of it,
I don't know
the terms.
Like, can you make a website for me? Okay, what? Okay, so
you want pepperoni on that?
What platform?
No, website. Yeah. What do you want on that? Mushrooms?
Yeah, Okay, what kind of server are you on now? I don't know anything. Yeah. Can you do it? Can you help me clicky and make pictures on the screen?
I
don't know.
I think if you're saying, can you help me clicky and make pictures, that's a little... I believe you. I believe you. That's adorable.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You know what I love? I love going to Apple, and you can make an appointment at their Genius Bar, right? For like, hey, I need specific help with my Mac. You can make appointments with them. They're really good at that. I think there is a fortune to be made, right? In having like centers for 45 and up. Like, look, I got this email. I need to do these things. I know I need to get it done.
The adult section. You go into the beads.
Yes.
You go through the cheesy beads.
Yeah.
Duran is playing.
Yeah, they're putting you at ease.
Yeah.
Like, I am hungry like the wolf. Yeah.
You're right. If
you know what I mean?
By the way, you Gen Zs, millennials, if you guys are tech people, start a business in making us feel comfortable fixing our shit. You make a fortune.
You make a fortune. Just going on in there like, look, and to them they'll just be like, click, 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 done. That'll be $100. I'm like, best money I ever spent.
Totally. And you just turned on my computer.
Yeah.
You just press power, boom.
Yeah. Can you clicky make pictures?
So another thing that happens is, again, because a part of what's frustrating about this is you're accomplishing nothing, and it's not for lack of work. You're motivated,
right.
and so another way I want to go is, okay, I'm trying and nothing's working. Now I'm going to go scorched earth, and I'm going to call you and get a refund. And if you don't give me a refund, I'm going to call my credit card and say that this was fraudulent, and then I'll cancel my credit card. Then I'm going to have to sell my house because there's a lien on the mortgage. I just want to.
Catastrophizing, Dan.
I just want to accomplish something.
Yeah.
You won't let me into the and so anyway, but the bottom line is, I just kind of had this epiphany. If I don't take care of myself at the end of the day, so the manly way to look at things is we don't give permission to take care of ourselves because I got to take care of this first. I'll sleep when I'm dead, right?
Right.
I'll mellow out after this. But the problem is, while you're doing this, your kid's going to walk in and say, "Hey, Dad, such and such," and you're going to snap at them.
Yeah.
So, guys, do what you need to do. Get a shrink. Go to Burning Man. Take ketamine.
Get naked.
Get naked. Roll around.
Burn some art.
Whatever you need to do.
Whatever.
Handle your anger. Handle your surface anger. Get agency over your emotions. So you can, so you don't take it out on your loved ones. Now I'm going to say that's part of being a man.
I would agree with you. I think that is actually the responsibility of being a man, right? Not hurting your loved ones emotionally, but also I would say you're allowed to have those feelings too, Dan. And technology has moved so fast; it is easy to feel left behind. And I think those are valid feelings too. In the moment, I say this as much to myself as anyone. Like, I will get very frustrated very quickly, and I feel dumb, and I feel like everyone else understands this but me. And I just got to take a breath and maybe walk away and come back to it and start again. That's been the entire process with this podcast around the technology. Like, honestly,
and we are making progress.
We are making progress.
Make progress. It doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't feel that way always, but I know we're doing it. And also it's interesting. Like Pete Hegseth, right, the Secretary of State in charge of the Pentagon. He wants, he's there to bring back a warrior culture and be an unapologetic man and get rid of all this woke garbage. But he doesn't understand technology because he was sending, classified war plans on over his phone like an idiot. And he probably doesn't want to admit that he doesn't understand technology either. But I bet you probably a bunch of people saw those war plans because he probably went to anybody under 30 and was like, "Hey, could you help me delete this?"
Yeah.
How do I get it off my screen? Well, that doesn't mean it's deleted. Just get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, just showed it, went to a cafe, showed it to someone.
Yeah. Hey, can I get a coffee? And, hey, you look like you know how to use one of these.
So again, manhood, edit that out.
Exactly. That's what the left wants, Dan. They want to edit out manhood.
Right. Manhood involves, being responsible, being accountable for your emotions.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me your pronouns. I'll tell you my adjectives. Angry. Is that an adjective?
No.
Anyway, I don't have to apologize. I'm a man.
All right, Joe. I think we did it.
I think we did it, buddy. Once again.
Good job. Subscribe,
people. For God's sakes.
Subscribe.
Dan needs us.
Yeah.
He needs us.
This is all we have now.
This is it. All right? Don't die alone.
Descend into fascism. Yeah, this is all we have.